Everyone please rise. Let's bow our heads. Lord gracious Heavenly Father, we just come to you now, thanking you for the day. It's been a good day, Lord, and you give us a lot of sunshine, and you give us health. Thank you for everyone here tonight, Lord, that's concerning Fannin County and the business that we run. Lord, help us to run this business in a way that's pleasing in your sight. Thank you for our chairman. Thank you for Commissioner Cersei, Lord, their guidance and wisdom, Lord. We just ask that you would just touch each one of us tonight, that we will be in a way that will be pleasing and that will help Fannin County flourish, Lord. But we realize that we can only do that through your mercy, blessings, and grace. Thank you for that you give us each and every day. Now go with us, watch over and protect us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Join me in pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right, so under unfinished business number 2, we have the approval of the minutes of the April 9th, 2024 regular scheduled board meeting. Commissioner Cersei, any errors or omissions in those minutes?
No, sir, nothing I saw.
Commissioner Patrick?
No, I have none, Chairman.
All right, nor did I. So that being said, I'll make a motion to approve those minutes and ask for a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, number 3 under unfinished business. We have board discussion action. This was the variance request from Tech Lim to place more than 24 apartments on the property. This was tabled from our previous meeting. Gentlemen, after talking to Mr. Walker, who was here to represent Mr. Lim last time, he and I and Mr. Woody had sat down and realized, there was some easements on the back side that he was encroaching upon, and he was going to have to go back to the drawing board as well to see if he could even build 24 at that time. Okay. So
they're encroaching on the property?
On the easement.
Okay.
On the easement. So this is still not resolved, and I'm glad Ms. Dawes is here. I wanted to ask her question. I know we can table this till our next regular meeting. And Ms. Dawes, just kind of, this is Mr. Lim's.
Yes, sir.
Until this gets resolved, what would be the possibility of taking this off our agenda instead of tabling on down the road?
Vote to remove it from the agenda until such time it's brought back.
All right. So that would be my recommendation, and we'll discuss this before.
So you say that it doesn't look like even, they wanted 30, but it's not really ready even for 24.
Well, not sure it is, just to be honest with you. So.
I'm good with it.
I'm good.
All right, so, that being said, I'll ask for that motion that we just remove this from any further agendas until such time as they bring something back, if they bring something back.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and ask for a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye. That was borders on the other side too, though, wasn't it?
It was.
Front and side.
Yeah. That's the way it appeared on the paperwork, yes. Also, under unfinished business, number 4, we have our Human Resource Director, Jesse Hall, regarding the insurance for retirees, tabled from a previous meeting on April the 9th. Ms. Hall.
And I have something to hand out to you.
Yeah.
You can take a look at this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know you wanted something to look at. So last meeting, we discussed about covering insurance for our retirees. So we have several employees that are in between the ages of 55 and 65. And as of today, we have 31 employees that are in between those ages. And of those, we have 5 that are between the ages of 62 and 64. So if we covered their insurance, we would cover it until they either got Medicare, Medicaid at 65, or if they became disabled, we would then cover it until they became disabled. I kind of came up with some numbers of those 5 individuals that are in different departments, and those are what the savings would be, and that would be after the deductions of what their health insurance would be. I couldn't narrow down some of the employees, like they carry other insurances like Aflac and short-term disability and long-term disability. I couldn't narrow it down more than that, but this is kind of a rough estimate of what each of those departments of savings would be.
So this is, and like I said last time, I believe this would give them an option to retire at 62.
Yes, and then us cover them until they were 65 or became disabled, yeah.
But that's with 15 years of service.
At least 15 years of service, yes, yes.
And Jesse, just to be clear, there's no requirement that anybody retire.
No, no,
This is just a benefit.
This is
so
an
that if
option.
somebody is working,
right,
as we often also, many people do, just for the sole purpose of keeping their insurance,
right,
this would allow them to go ahead and retire if they wanted to.
yes,
But regardless of age, you can continue to be employed by Fannin County if
correct,
that's your choice.
yes. Yeah, a lot of employees, stay because health insurance is so expensive out in the market. So they stay just for the insurance, until they're 65.
And these would be the savings in each department.
Each department,
Like for the
yes.
5 people that you're saying are in there.
Right,
This would be the savings.
I see you've got 2 in the courthouse.
yes, yeah, I didn't want to single out these people because we do have salaries on there, but it's 2 employees in the courthouse
Oh.
and then 2 employees in the fire EMS department and
I
an
got
employee in
you.
the
That's
sheriff's
5.
office.
I
Right,
got you.
correct,
Okay,
yes.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
We have quite a bit, I think it's 31 in the 55 to 65 range.
yes, yeah,
Give them an option.
yeah, 31 employees, yes.
Give them an option.
So,
And I think this would be a good thing to do for retention also, to keep employees, or when we're hiring for, employees, that would be something that would look good, you know, for the county, if we hired them, be like, hey,
Like a benefit
a
package.
benefit, yes, yeah, something that would, benefit our employees and keep employees or bring people in to, hire them.
And tell me, what was the age again that they could start doing this?
62, with
62.
15 years of service with us.
Okay.
Gentlemen, any discussion on this?
I think it's a good thing. Give our employees options.
I just think it's just something that's gonna help us hire people too, you know?
Yeah.
Whenever you're sitting there trying to, attract employees or people to come to work, if you can show a good, you can show, hey, this is what we do, this is what we offer. And that gives them time, well, if I stay 15 years, I can Well, now, a person that stayed, say, they would have to continuously be employed though?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I just think it's a good incentive.
Yeah,
It
we
is.
would have to put some stipulations on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the, but when now, we can vote for this, but the stipulations, we wanna see, that's what we'll approve though, right? The final,
Well, what you would approve is implementing the plan, and
Okay.
then it would be up to human resources to get it documented for each
and then bring it
person.
back to us.
The final thing could be delivered to you, but once you approve it, then it's a benefit. So somebody has to work, Jesse, if I say something wrong,
No.
you have to be at least 62 and have 15 years of qualified service. So I can't have started with the county at the age of 30, worked 15 years, and now I'm 45, and the county's gonna cover my insurance
Right.
henceforth. No, that's not what happened.
It's only when you retire at 62.
Correct.
Yeah,
You have to be 62 and have been here 15 years before that. So
And that's
that
how
would
it's
take
gonna
it back
read?
to
Yes.
okay.
37.
And then also
47.
adding that, you know, if you became disabled before you're 65, then dropping our coverage.
Or even if, what about if you're disabled before 62?
That would take you out of
That
our.
would
That would
take
take
you
it
out of
out,
our
yeah, 'cause
coverage,
you have to
because
be at
then you
least
go on
62.
social security
Okay,
disability.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm good.
All right. All right, gentlemen, I'll make a motion that we, implement this plan and, for retirement at 62 with 15 years of service and cover the insurance until 65, or if they get on disability, it would stop at the time they get that. So I'll make that motion and ask for a second.
I second
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No,
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
It's gonna be a good thing to go before I sure hope that. All right, number 5 was, also tabled from last meeting. It's, board discussion action on animal control fees. This was, like I said, tabled from our previous meeting. Ms. Burgess couldn't be here last time, so Ms. Burgess, come on up. Talk to us a little bit.
Okay. So, I don't know if y'all have received these. Everybody's got one.
Jerry?
Okay. Right now, at animal control, our fees consist of, a rabies fee. If your dog is, we pick your dog up and it's not had a rabies vaccine, we charge a $20 or cost of vaccine fee for the rabies. And we also charge an adoption fee, which is, $125. As far as other fees at this time, we do not charge any. That means if your dog is at large and we pick your dog up, if it's been rabies, you can come get it within 5 days and not not incur any cost. We are one of the very few facilities in Georgia that doesn't charge fees. So what I propose is, if we pick your dog up, it's at large, and you come to pick it up, the first time, it's a $25 impound pet fee plus a $10 boarding fee, plus, each day, plus the vaccines that we've had to give that dog. We have to, every dog that enters, we have to give a DAPPV. And right now, those are costing, about $5 a piece. Our charges, and we are not getting reimbursed for that. So, I've had people who think that animal control is Fannin County Animal Control Boarding and Kennel Facility, because we're a lot cheaper than putting your dog in a kennel and boarding it.
So, yeah, just have one question. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
But you said, is it a 5-day hold fee?
Well, we have a 3-day stray hold.
Okay.
We also have, we also have a 5-day known owner hold.
Okay.
If we know who the owner is, we notify them and we have to hold that dog for 5 days. If they don't get it, come get it within 5 days. We do have the right to adopt that dog out, send it to a rescue if we choose to,
After the 5th day.
after the 5th day. If we don't know who the owner is, that's 3 days. You know, one of our main priorities is getting dogs back home. So even if it's day 6 and somebody calls and says, hey, that's my dog, if we still have it, we let it go home. But, should we do that free of charge?
That's
Or
what I was
if it
gonna
costs-
ask you, so if somebody, so when you notify somebody and they let it stay there full 5 days,
Yeah.
so they, nothing,
Nothing. Not unless, no,
And-
if
and
they
we-
have a rabies vaccine and proof of it, yeah, they can come, we charge them nothing. They come.
so the county is assuming, is
We're paying,
feeding it,
yeah,
watering it, employees are taking care of
we're
it.
vaccinating the
And all this for
DAPPV,
nothing?
yes, for nothing. And I have repeat offenders. You know, I would like to say, you know, and that's why the second time it's a little more, the third time it's a little more. And that 4th time, it's a whole lot more.
Plus the dog will be spayed and neutered.
Plus the dog,
No,
and you have to
already.
pay for that, and that charge is up here also. You pay for spay and neuter at $150. Rabies, you know, which most time by the 4th time, they're vaccinated pretty well, we've done that. We also own bite holds. Your dog bites somebody, we hold them for 10 days free of charge. I mean, that's a pretty sweet deal. We kennel them, keep them quarantined, and we charge the owner nothing.
So, when you get a dog that bites, how do you get this dog? I mean, what makes?
We have to go get it usually, or sometimes the owner will bring it in. You know, sometimes the owner, you know, depending on, the Department of Environmental Health, you know, they'll say, look, you can't quarantine this dog. And we have had owners that will bring it in. A lot of times we have to go get it. And, you know, yeah, we treat it as a vicious dog until, and we quarantine that dog and we hold it and it goes home with a rabies, and most of the time they're charged as a rabies vaccine.
Or on probation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we required to pick up a bite? Or are we, in other words, I know in the past, there were some times where the homeowner could keep it as long as they wanted to.
As long as Shannon decides that person can quarantine it effectively in the house, we are not required. However, if they cannot quarantine it effectively in the house, then yes, we have to go get it. Now, the law also states you must be in control of your dog at all times. So if your dog bites someone, you are responsible.
And
But does the law say that you can't charge them?
No, it does not. No.
Then, so if you keep a dog 10 days, something's, you know, we gotta,
We don't have a fee schedule in place.
We don't.
Oh.
To set the fee
Okay.
schedule, we had just heretofore always, as a county, absorb these costs.
But now, and we're getting to the point, we're growing progress. This year alone, and we're not at the end of April, we have already had an intake of 172 dogs.
how many?
172, and we're not even at the end of April.
So at $10 a day, that's $1,720.
Well, and you also have to think of this, the cost of our DAPPV and feeding that dog far exceeds $10.
So
Yeah, I'm just saying that's a minimum.
Yeah. So, at this rate, we will, if we keep this up, we'll take in over $500 by the end of the year.
One more question on the dogs. How many folks actually come back to pick up their dogs off of Would you say
Okay, now,
half
well,
or less?
normally all of them, because if they don't come back and get them, it's considered abandonment.
Okay.
And thus, I can hit them with a summons for abandonment.
Okay.
And that's enough.
We
That
can-
right there is enough enticement for them to come back and get their dog.
All right. So we keep them 10 days for the bindle, it costs them at least $100 to, at least $100 to come back in and get their dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Is $10 a day enough? I mean, with feeding and watering and,
it's actually not, because you've got to realize, a lot of the bite holds are 911 calls, we're off duty. We have to, we have to get up out of bed, make overtime to go get that dog, bring it in. Actually, $10 isn't enough, but it's a fair price. It's not one, I think, it's not so significant of a rate that I believe people will be like, that's how we operate. What are my taxes going for? So.
to take care of everybody else's dogs, that's where your taxes is going. Well, all right.
And, unfortunately, taking care of dogs is getting expensive.
Yeah. Sounds like it. I guess that's why you picked up 172
Yes,
so far.
yes, it is, and, and also, and I didn't put this on here. I missed that. But, and this is what I wrote. All the adoptions and vaccination fees and and those service fees, like parvo test and microchipping, they should go back into the medical. I believe impound fees and boarding fees, I believe that should go into animal control, payroll, and training. Is that?
Probably just going to the budget, but
It would go back into the general fund budget.
It would go
so
back into the general
It
fund?
would wash out because that would be used for salaries
Because-
and benefits.
Okay, cause my medical,
Mhm.
all my vaccines come out of the medical
Mhm,
budget.
exactly. Yeah.
And
Anything that you take in as boarding fees,
boarding
extras,
fees
we
and,
could create a line item in the general fund revenues and use that. It goes into the general fund pot, which is.
okay, so even like if we're being refunded for vaccines, it would go back into the general fund pot.
It would go back in.
But like
It
she
would go
said,
under medical.
could
That's-
create a line item in there for the revenue coming in.
Because, I can tell you now, like, our budget is what, $15,000 for medical? 500 something dogs, that's $30 a dog.
Yeah.
That's far.
how much you feed bill?
Our feed bill is, probably around $800 to $1,000 a month here lately. We're full, we're over full. As long as we stay at that capacity, our feed bill,
Okay. So these are the suggested amounts that you'd like
yes,
for this board to approve?
and starting with, yes. I'm sure next year something may change, but
So I'm gonna start
it's a start. And I'm hoping it's a way to deter people from letting their dogs run large, you know.
Okay,
It's a good deterrent sometimes.
okay, thank you.
All right. Gentlemen, any discussion on this?
No, sir.
I have none.
You'll have to do a resolution, you can adopt the things, we can do a resolution to adopt the things, you don't have, these don't have to be set by ordinance.
Okay. So we make a motion to adopt this, and then,
You can make a motion to adopt it, say May the first, or to effect May the first, and we just sign it at the next meeting.
I don't think it will. May 14th. So it's May 15th, then, that way it gives time to sign it.
Okay.
Sign it
But it'll go in effect on the first,
May 15th.
May the 15th.
All right, so, all right, so we'll make a motion to adopt these fees, and pending the resolution to be on our next, meeting, which will be May the 14th. The start date for these fees will be May the 15th, pending the resolution. So I'll make that motion, ask for a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Sound right?
Yes.
All right. Under new business, we have board discussion action. We have a variance request from Christian Crawford to request an easement from road approved at 47.6 feet. 6 foot. Road is 55 feet and the footers were poured at 47.6. Is there anybody here that opposes this variance request? Is there anybody here for the variance request? All right.
You wanna see my maps?
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
You've already done some work, right? I think I wanted to make sure I saw it. You've done some work on it, right?
I have.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you put the signs up? Yellow signs? Have you put the yellow signs up?
Yeah, the yellow signs up.
Okay. I didn't see it. I may have missed it.
Put it on my, permit.
Okay.
This is present day lot. Story behind that is Mr. Crawford's wife had this terminal blood. And so getting up to the garage into her house, he thought it was a problem with it, was just getting worse. So he requested that I put a second driveway in. And that's the purpose of this retaining wall. So I could get a driveway and get some parking space up in front of the house, so she could get in the house. And so I said I would, and he said, you know, how far can you get up there? Because it levels up at the bottom, it goes down steep and levels up. And I said, well, I can't until it's on the FEMA flood zone. So I did, so we didn't flood. Now, he said there's a 55-foot rule of thumb, which that's what he told me from center of the road. I'm 60, but I am encroaching 7.5 feet past this point. I didn't go past the FEMA flood line. And so that's why I'm here getting the variance, you know, so if I try to push this house back, the road is so steep, it's hard for me to get that second driveway in. And so that's why I'm here for the variance, because I can pull this off and get this truck up there, but if I go way back, but that, you know, it's built like that, it levels out. If you saw the lot,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And so. that's
It's
why
steep.
I'm-
I mean, it's a big bank.
Pardon?
I said, it's real steep. It's a
It's
big
steep-
bank.
gets steep at the back.
Yeah.
So, but I told him I couldn't encroach on this with FEMA, so I didn't.
Mhm.
So basically, Keith is correct, I am 7.5 feet.
Sure.
Past the rule of thumb, he says the rule of thumb, so I
Keith was good with it?
Keith is good with it.
Okay.
It's on a small dirt road, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Hey,
not
but-
car, yeah, it's not very busy down
No, no.
there. There's 3 houses that are being built on my way to this house, which is on the riverside of the
Right.
road, and all of those they are lower than the FEMA flood line, so, but I wasn't gonna do that because I was worried about the flooding strips.
All right.
I really don't see how any other way you could have done it. I don't see how you could have done anything else but what you did.
I couldn't do
Because,
anything like-
unless you wanted
And
to
get him up-
dig that bank down.
Not getting up to that house.
No.
You know, and I understand that she is getting worse, so I'm hoping I get the help there. So, but,
Sir, I'm sorry, what is your name, so I can put it in the record?
pardon?
What is your name, so I may put it in the
Arnold
record?
Sindelbecker.
I'm sorry, Arnold?
Sindelbecker, Sindledecker.
Okay, thank you.
All right, gentlemen, any discussion on this?
No, sir.
And,
I'll ask for a motion to approve this variance request.
Make a motion.
I'll ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
You good to go?
Thank you.
You up?
All right, the next one is a variance request from Matthew Swanberg Williams and Peter McLean Williams Jr. to place a house 24 feet from the edge of the road and 8 feet one side of the property line. The neighbor has provided a letter, giving them permission to do that close to their line. Gentlemen, any discussion on this particular one before we?
If it's okay with the neighbors, I mean, it is a little close, but they, we're okay with it, so I'm fine with it as well.
Anyone here oppose this? Anyone here for it?
This is Wesley McNally.
Yeah, he's the property, he's the other property owner, correct?
He owns the adjacent property, sir.
with Jackson. Right.
All right, any discussion on this, John?
No, sir.
That's that.
This is a small lot. And water and sewer.
They figure it across the,
You may have to, it's one of those things when you put, if the lot size is grandfathered in, you also gotta get sewer with the health department says works.
So there's a possibility, even though if we do this, they may not be able to make it happen either.
Correct.
Okay. All right, John, no discussion on this?
No, sir.
All right, I'll ask for a motion that we approve this variance.
I'll make a motion.
I'll ask for a second.
second.
All in favor?
Now, did you say, Ms. Dawson, pending
Y'all can
Water.
approve it, but whether or not they
Water.
can, you can approve the placement of the house, but they would have to do septic and well,
Septic.
water through the health department.
Right, so it could still have issues.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Might not have to approve it, isn't it? All right, under new business, board discussion action, we have EMS Director Becky Huffman regarding the purchasing of equipment. Ms. Huffman.
not immediately, but in the future, gonna be needing to replace a med unit. So wanted to ask y'all if I could go ahead and put out a request for bids. It'll probably take, they're about a year to 2 years out on if we were to say yes to buying one today, it would take about a year to 2 years for one to actually make it through production and us actually have to pay for it. But we haven't purchased a med unit since 2021, so, if we could, I'd like to at least put out for bids, to go ahead and get that process kind of started, since it's gonna be a while before it's actually ready for us to use.
You have some figures?
I know roughly about what they are. Right now, they've went up quite a bit. In 2021, we purchased one for $148,000. Now we can't get one for less than $250,000. And that is the base med unit. Mostly they're having issues with the chassis. Where before, especially pre-COVID, chassis were readily available. Now they've had issues with getting the chips for the diesels and certain parts for them. And the manufacturers are actually getting more specific on the chassis that they'll take. So where before we could pick from Ford, Chevrolet, and Dodge, now we're just down to basically Ford. Dodge has a few out there, but Chevrolet, you could put one out, but the thing that would probably hold us up the most is probably trying to get the chassis, because you can, if we specify that we want a Chevrolet chassis like we have been in the past, that we may not get one for 3 years, because the chassis are so hard to get. So that's why we wanna just try to go ahead and put it out there and see, but as of right now, and try and get somebody under contract so that we can actually lock in a price, because they just keep going up.
So you've got a 2021?
Right, that was the last time we purchased, was in 2021, and it was $148,000.
I thought we were getting two of those.
We did, they were both at the exact same price.
Okay.
They canceled the third one.
Yes, they
We
canceled the
ordered
third one, we ordered it, they canceled the third one, they couldn't honor the price, so they went up so much, so. The oldest med unit we have right now that's actually frontline has 170,000 miles on it, so we're doing good mileage wise. But with the timeline that we've been given by the manufacturers, it's gonna be a year to 2 years, so that truck is gonna be needing to be replaced, in the near future, so. We just wanted to get the process started so that we could get in line and get a price locked in before things went through the roof.
How do we, how's the payment then? We don't pay until we get it,
Right,
right?
correct, we don't pay until it's actually ready to
We're talking
go.
about 2 years down the
Right,
road.
this'll just be, I'm just needing to
We lock
start.
it in at 250?
What we'll do is we'll put out the bids, and then when y'all accept the bid package on it, we'll go ahead and lock in the contract with them and have everything signed, so that it's already, the process is already started, and that price is the honored price. That's where we kinda messed up, is we didn't get the contract signed with First Class, so they didn't have to honor that contract. So this time we'll lock in the price and sign the contract with them, and then they'll slowly start production on the chassis and everything that we go with.
Can we put a footnote in there, if prices come back down, they'll give us a cheaper price?
We could probably do that, I don't know if they'll sign off on it, but we could probably try that out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Will that come into the ARPA fund? Can we use ARPA fund?
We are gonna try to use the ARPA funds on that. We have to be in a contract. I want to be transparent on that, just in case something happens, because I know there's such a delay, as Vicki stated, but we do want to try to use the ARPA funds on that, so, and we've got plenty in there.
So if we can enter in the contract, I think we
It
can
will,
set it aside, yeah.
We have to be in a contract, to have those funds obligated.
Now, the 250 is base, that is like, we don't have any frills on our truck, so it's not really anything that, we'd need a whole lot more, but there's a few added things that we like to have on ours. So it may be a little bit more than 250, just depending on what they put in, but it'll go out nationwide. Then they'll send us back the bids, and then, we'll open them up here and see what we got.
So it'll be that far out, we got those on. That's what we purchased the other one, you know.
As long as we can get,
That is,
locked in on that
yeah.
contract, we will be good with that.
that's huge to use that money and not put the burden on the taxpayers.
We have to use it by what?
We have to have it spent by 2026, but we have to have it obligated by the end of this year. And when I say obligated, it means entered into a contract, yeah.
All right, Jim, any other discussion?
No, sir.
All right, I'll make a motion that we this out for bid for a new ambulance, and I'll ask for a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
When do you wanna put the timeline on it? When do they need to have the bids back in?
2 days. Generally 30 days,
So if you made it for the,
28. We make it for the 28th.
and you have to open them.
That'll be our second meeting,
All right, second meeting in May.
yeah.
Which is, May 29th.
Okay. All right, thank y'all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right, number 9, we have Deputy EMA Director Patrick Cook and Fire Chief Larry Thomas regarding purchasing of equipment.
Morning.
Morning.
Let me start off.
Good
let me st-
morning.
Yeah. Let me start off by saying that I really do appreciate you guys.
Oh, yeah, butter my bread.
For going ahead and letting us add another crew.
That was needed.
That's needed in a bad way.
And explain that real quick.
And these guys that we've got hired on, the two, we've got 6 hired, but the two, they work a 24 on, 48 off, and they're running their wheels off right now. And when I say that, it's 30, 40 calls a week. It's just bam, 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 every time they turn around. They can be out checking hydrants, that's what happened today, and get called off on something else, or something else will have to come up. And one thing then another, but I really do appreciate you guys, especially for letting us hire this other crew. But we do need, after researching and looking at the equipment that we've got right now that would fit the need for a squad, I just don't think they'll hold up. We've got a pickup and a Tahoe. But then again, I'd like to request that we go ahead and move forward with another truck purchase. It's not a brand new truck, but it is 14,000 miles, that's what's on the truck. It's
Let
like
me ask
brand
you,
new.
you mentioned just a second ago, 30 to 40 calls sometime. Can you kind of give us an idea of what these calls are for?
Well, and it depends.
Generally speaking.
If it's a medical call, it usually ties them up anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. And as far as fire call, it can tie them up as long as 7.5, 9 hours, what we had downtown that day. Now, that's the extreme, going from the least to the extreme. On a patient assist, they might get in and get out in 30 minutes, depending on the drive time to the resident and back, so.
And Chief, we have 3 of these units now, right? Or 2 of them?
We've just got one unit, and we're adding another unit.
So we'll have 2 now
There'll be
on
2
each side of the county.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll continue calling squad 1, and the one that we're going to 5 with, or we move them into 5 until we finish up down at 4. But we've got that building down there to go ahead and do some upgrades in before we can move them in there. We'll call them squad 4.
To be stationed out for with the other.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And that'll take care of the west side.
The west side, yeah. And in the event of a big fire, they'll still all come together.
Yeah. So, and they're doing the same shifts like what? What's their shifts?
24 on, 48 off.
Yeah.
Same as a med unit.
Yeah, basically, I know the med units, they've got a Kelly day that they can throw in every once in a while. But we don't have the Kelly day, we just 24, 48.
Okay. So it's working good then, it's gonna be extra coverage for our people.
Yeah.
Response time.
But what we're looking at right now is a 2022, am I saying that right? Yeah. Ford F-250, and, well, they started out around $150,000, I'd say, for the truck, but we're looking at 47,540 was the total to be spent on it. And that is a truck, four-wheel drive, four-door, and then we'll also have to deck it with lights, siren.
But you have that, right?
We might have some of that.
Some of them will have to purchase some of the equipment.
Yeah.
It won't be too much.
Like the camper tower, the topper, and the slide out.
And I guess that truck there still has all the warranties on it, don't it?
It has a manufacturer warranty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
14,000,
14,000 miles on it.
okay.
And that's through Day Chevrolet. We checked all the local dealerships, and this was the best deal we could find. Searched everything locally, they couldn't come close.
Okay. And y'all were happy with it, you seen it?
Yes,
So
sir.
I looked at it, it's a nice truck.
Okay. I guess that'll come out, will that come out of the ARPA?
That will be purchased with ARPA funds.
Okay.
And when do you plan on putting this new crew on? I mean,
May the 1st.
May the 1st, so next week.
Miss Jessie's still here, we got some work to do, she's still here.
I think she bailed on it.
Did she bail? Becky's still here, right? No, Becky did too.
So it's next week.
All right, gentlemen, any more discussion on this?
No, sir.
All right, I'll make a motion that we purchase this truck from Day Chevrolet, amount of $47,540, to be paid out of ARPA funds, and I'll ask for a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure to take good care of our people. It'll last us 30, 40 years.
Doctor, 30, 40 years.
Well, some of them others did, why can't these, I'm just saying.
That's right. Well, and we do have the 83 up there today that's getting that final repair on it with the ladder. And he said, I'll be done, ready, you'll be ready to go by noon tomorrow.
Right on.
Be as good as new, right?
It's a
4-year-old brand new ladder.
1983 model. And he said that, well, the gentleman that's working on it said that it was a good looking truck for its age. And I said, I am too, so.
Bless it.
Thank you.
Ain't that what Southern people, they bless it?
Bless it.
All right, so number 10, we have board discussion and action. We have our finance director, Sherry Walker, with our financial report for the first quarter of this year.
All right.
Chairman, before she gets started, is she gonna go through all this?
Oh, no, that's homework tonight. And my notes are highlighted, so.
Does everybody want her to go through number by number? Okay.
You'll be here for a while, no dinner, right? Okay, so this is the financial report for the first quarter of the fiscal year of 2024. This is for the total general fund revenues received to date, which is $6,335,913.41. The total general fund expenditures to date are $5,792,818.65. The net revenue over the expenditures are $543,094.76. With our local option sales tax received to date, we received a little over 1.8 million. Spliced received to date, we received over 2.4 million. And so far in the budgets, no departments are over budget. We're 17% in to the budget year so far. But I do have a couple of recommendations for the board. I would like to recommend that the actual, some of the expenditure line items, we purchased the Gov OS for the hotel motel program that's going to be coming up. So I would like to recommend that the Board of Commissioners be amended in that amount of $167,342.06, and I think y'all have a copy of that in your folder, so that way you can see it's right here. And that will be offset by the hotel, motel business license certificates that we're issuing. The price of that fee has gone up, so those revenues should offset that expenditure well above. And then also in, I know last meeting, we had, voted to, increase the tax commissioner's budget line item by $39,995. So that will be also, that's calculated in the new figures, as you
Okay.
see that. And then in Superior Court, they had allocated for, or planned on getting a case administrator in the Superior Court back in January. That was in the amount of $4,385. So I increased that budget by that amount. That is reimbursed from Judge Sosby's operating account, which has already come back into the general fund, so that's a wash there, so. So if everyone's good with that, I would like to recommend that the budget be amended to allocate for those expenditure items.
Okay.
I'd like to try to do that every quarter if I could, so that way we're not, rolling over with expenditures at the end of the year, that we have to amend. So that would bring our total general fund up to $33,016,984.
Bring it up to what?
33,016,984.
Okay.
And that total increase is $211,722, which is a 0.64 increase in the budget.
Hopefully, if we can save that by the end of the year, something's out.
Yeah, right. And just the revenues, some of the revenues that we received last year this time, we haven't got some of those revenues in at this time. Like some of the Georgia Department of Revenues, we have a river basin payment that we usually get. They're on a different quarter than we are, so we don't really get that in at the same time every month or quarter that they pay it out.
But even not getting those, the revenues are still pretty well open.
Yeah,
I mean,
fund balance is still up, so. And the expenditures, we, I think Mr. O'Neill will be here next meeting maybe to give an update on the pool project. So that is about 85% complete, so we have had quite a few expenditures there, but that project's almost finished, so.
Well,
So a couple of weeks ahead, ain't it?
Yeah, right on time actually, for the opening of that.
That's awesome.
well, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Jim, any discussion on the budget amendments? Any questions?
You said pool?
The pool?
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the pool and splash pad project that we,
The Blue Ridge, old Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
Are we getting that thing this summer?
yeah, I know, it's all over.
Any discussion on this board? All right, so, I'll make a motion to
No, I don't have any.
accept. What you said, man?
I didn't say anything.
Oh,
did I?
yeah, man,
I know, forget it, I'm done.
Yeah.
I did, but I forgot about it. That's okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution amending the fiscal year budget, and I'll ask for a second.
I second
All in favor?
Ah,
it.
Make sure.
I just wanna say, it's good to, compliment the commissioners and everybody, that's a good job, they've done pretty good.
Things are going well.
But thank you, Jesus.
I'm sorry.
All right, so that brings us to number 10, which is, or I'm sorry, public commentary. That's number 11, public commentary. Anybody have anything they'd like to say, comment? Hopefully all good stuff. All right, we'll close public commentary. Commissioner Cersei, do you need executive session tonight?
No, I'm ready.
Commissioner Fannin?
I thought about it.
I don't know, we wouldn't mind.
I know, I've been thinking over here,
It's like he's really needing.
I'm needing some, man.
All right, I don't have a need for it, so I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
I'll ask for a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Thank y'all for coming.
Appreciate y'all coming.